all the committee reports are in the same section.
Patty,
Yeah.
Yes.
if you look in the Zoom chat, trying to do the YouTube streams so that as far as minutes, you can just copy that URL, and then hopefully, like at the end of the meeting, the whole meeting will be available for you to play back.
Okay. I always set up the minutes from what Mike sends out ahead of time, so hopefully I don't get behind, but the recordings are very helpful.
Cool.
Yeah, and this is the actual, do you want me to send you the current agenda? Because it has been updated since Mike sent that out.
Too late. I've already set the one up there. I'll just work with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I always recommend,
Sorry, Tom, go ahead.
if you have the agenda online in a Google folder and you always use the same file, then you don't have all this back and forth stuff.
It is always the same file.
Well, then Patty, you should.
Yeah,
What I mean is literally the same file in the Google folder, but I will shut up now.
I just always.
Well, we do change the date and the file name, so.
Well, yeah, I argue you should not do that, and you should just prepend the new stuff at the top, and all the old stuff just like a blog just goes down to the bottom. I mean, it's like, what is that going to cost any? Well, okay, I'm going to stop.
Actual cost, no. It does make us copy the old agenda up to the new one, because it doesn't actually change very much. But hey, I'm almost a lame duck here, so.
We do have a pretty tight schedule, so maybe we could move on with the.
Yes. Okay, so as people saunter in, I will remind folks that the meeting is being recorded, and if that's a problem, please take it up with Tom. Our agenda should be showing on the screen, and let's see. So our annual goals, which were established in March of this year, are to double our membership through bottom-up grassroots organizing, organize a coalition and campaign for a local pandemic.
Excuse me, who's got the telephone? 5315.
That's me.
Yeah,
Barbara.
if you could, I don't know if because there's wind noise. I'm just wondering. I think maybe if you, is it *6? You might be able to mute that way.
There we go. Okay, I'll start with the annual goals again, which were established in March, to double our membership through bottoms-up grassroots organizing, organize a coalition and campaign for a local pandemic Green New Deal, increase candidate number above 2019, and at least 3 social events. And folks can see the short-term objectives on the screen there.
Mike, can you go up to short-term objectives again for a second?
Oh, sure. Oh, duh.
So the Milwaukee community care and mutual aid thing is where we're going to talk about when we get to that, about Angela Walker's recommendations, just so people know.
Okay. Oh, so you added something in the agenda, Greg?
Yeah, well, I just added it to our, I think it's on coalition reports. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So let's see. Let's see who's. Could folks on the phone please identify themselves just so we know who's here, and we can do introductions as well. But let's.
This is Barbara Dahlgren. I'm on the phone. Pass.
Oh, that other person just dropped off. It's oh wait, Sam Michael.
Sam, is that you on the phone?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Sweet. Okay.
And we also have Bill Bryan is here, Greg Banks is here, and Mike McAllister is here, and Tom and Patty. Hello. Okay. Folks can see my co-chair's report. It is basically complete. And we're up to Secretary's report. Folks have seen the minutes from October. We sent those out a couple of weeks ago. Do we have a proposal to approve the October minutes?
Propose we approve the October minutes.
Is there any blocking objection? Anyone wish to stand aside? They're approved. Treasurer's report.
Barb said she wouldn't be able to make it today, but she gave me, those are the updated numbers for November. And then I have a request for 2112 reimbursement. Tom and I gave out about 200 and, I don't know, how many little flyers do you have left, Tom, approximately?
Oh yeah, substantial number phone. I mean, just approximately maybe 100.
You have 100 left?
Well, I can let me just see if I can go find them and come
Oh no,
back.
it's not that important. It's not that important, Tom.
Yeah.
Just we gave out a lot of them.
I still
And
remember
Tom-
2 stacks and maybe 50. So maybe it's more like 50 of each item.
That's okay. So we have about 70 left, and that's from 2 separate printings. But the last 200 printing, we probably gave out 150, I would say. So those are almost all given out already, but that was right before the election, so letting people know about the Green New Deal. So can anybody make a proposal to either reimburse me or not reimburse me for the 2112?
Motion to reimburse.
Second.
Okay.
Any discussion on this? Are there any blocking concerns? Are there any, does anyone wish to stand aside? That's approved. You can let Barb know.
Okay.
Anything else under the treasurer's report?
Nope.
Membership. Patty?
Yeah, I don't really have anything much to report. I updated the current eligible voter list and sent that to Greg. And so you'll see those in the on the agenda, the eligible voters. Most people will be due to renew in February. And
Patty, can I just ask you a question on that?
yes.
I'm pretty sure that last year we decided that we would all just renew January 1st would be the renewal date. I think that was something we consensed on.
Okay. I'll note that. And I don't have anything to report today on the state gathering. That will have to be in the next month's meeting. And that's all I have to ask.
Barbara Stack.
Hi, Barbara.
Go, Barbara.
Yeah, I just wanted to make everyone aware that because we didn't have our newsletter out before the gathering, the plan from the membership committee was to work on that after the gathering and send that out soon. So if you're interested in helping out with the newsletter, we're looking for volunteers. Pass.
And they can contact you, Barb?
Yes, they can.
Okay. Let's see. Anything else under membership? Seeing none. IT. Tom?
Okay. So I'm looking at the clock. I'm not sure if I reported on this, but I did an article on Julian Assange for the website. Other than that, the last big thing I've been focusing on is the OPA vote. And, of course, all the fall gathering stuff. And then generically speaking, just kind of trying to work at understanding the streaming process, which has enough separate steps in it that it's always a little bit of an adventure each time. And like this morning, it's streaming, but the link that's in your Zoom thing is incorrect, and I don't know why. And then I'm happy and hopeful that maybe Tomas, I can be training him to back me up. But I think that's one of my needs, is to get a backup for myself, like specifically.
Gentle time reminder, Tom.
Okay, I think I'm still under 2 minutes. Okay, wrapping it up. Yeah, I'm just floating it out there. I don't know, Patty, is it a possibility that you might, think about being a backup for starting these Zoom meetings? Otherwise, maybe that could be automated also. Pass.
Yeah, Tom, if I'm available, which I generally am these days, until we can start traveling again, I'll be around. So yes, I'm happy to start the Zoom meetings. So you'll make me a host for these?
No, I would give you the full credentials, and you would, if I weren't, like, literally, if I was not available, then you would log in as the owner of the account. We have the cheapest account, so we don't have the ability to create, to my knowledge, users within Zoom, but hey, maybe you know more about Zoom than I do.
Gentle time reminder, guys. Could you do that offline? Because right now we're quite a bit late because we started late.
I have one question for Tom for the minutes.
Go ahead.
Did you say you wrote the article about Assange?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's largely just pointers to, but yeah, I created the blog entry.
Yes, that still counts, Tom.
Okay. Onward.
A lot of blog posts are mostly links too, and those are at least as good as the ones that are just rambling facts like I usually do.
Appreciate it.
Anyway, moving on, the Elections Committee report.
So I've got a few things that I'm reporting outside of the discussions that we're going to have. I'm in a car right now. I'm not driving, but hang on. So we had our Elections Committee meeting on 11/10, so a couple weeks ago. And a lot of that was just internal elections things for our fall gathering. And congratulations to all of those people who won their elections. we have a reminder that the Greater Milwaukee Green Party has somebody that they need to elect to the coordinating council itself. So that should be an agenda item coming up. People should be thinking about who might like that position on the coordinating council. We talked a lot about the findings of the presidential election that just happened, and we have a whole discussion coming up about that. But the one thing that you all should be aware of is that because there is a possible recount going on, the Howie Hawkins campaign is asking for. Yeah, it is going on. So the Hawkins campaign is asking for volunteers to help out with the recount. So if anybody has not received that email, I can pass that along to the whole the Greater Milwaukee Green Party group. And the last thing is that we are holding a Green Campaign School in 2020. This is all going to be on Zoom, and that's December 19th, so please mark your calendars. We've done these schools for the past 3 years, so we have a lot of the material, but we're always looking for speakers and for people who are interested in running for office to attend and learn a little bit of new stuff from each other. So that's really all I've got from the elections committee. We have not vetted any candidates, but I know that Alex Brower is kind of a case that's coming up really quickly that we do need to vet, unless the whole membership of this body would like to do that instead, because it is a local matter. And with that, I'll pass.
Thanks, Barb. Good with the time. Great with the time.
Yes, as the agenda notes, we have the spring elections for 2021 involve the state superintendent of public instruction, and there are school board races through all over Milwaukee County. I know of at least Milwaukee and West Dallas have school board elections coming in the spring. I don't know. As far as Alex Brower, I would be in favor of endorsing him. We have vetted him before for other offices, and the campaign is underway and active. If someone else would like to make that proposal, I would certainly rule it in order.
I would make the motion that we endorse Alex Brower for school board. Bill.
Barbara Stack.
Go ahead, Barbara.
I would make a friendly amendment that our endorsement should be contingent on Alex Brower continuing his membership in the Green Party and making sure that he's up to date on his dues and his membership here, because we often are quick to endorse candidates without asking anything of them in return. And I think that we should just kind of make it a regular thing to really check up on our candidates and make sure that they're reciprocal in this endorsement process. Pass.
Greg Stack. Yeah, and you'll notice, Barbara, on the list of eligible voters, he's not one of them, which I think might be an error, because I thought he filled out one of those forms at one of our meetings. But
I can attest to that. He filled out the form and paid his dues,
okay.
I think last August. So he's kind of up for renewal. Pass.
Yeah, we're all up for renewal January 1st, just so everybody knows. Thanks, Barbara. And I will, update the agenda that shows that he is eligible to vote.
What
thought his-
position?
I thought his wife was too. Did you want to be on the stack, Sam?
Yeah, Sam Stack,
Go
what
ahead.
position is he running for exactly?
School board in Milwaukee.
I believe it's in River West. I think it's the 5th district,
Okay,
but I could be wrong.
I accept the friendly amendment.
yeah.
Further discussion on the proposal. Hearing none. Are there any blocking concerns to endorsing Alex Brower? Are there any stand-asides? Hearing none. Pending resolution of his current dues status, Alex Brower's endorsed.
Yeah, and just so we know, his current due status is paid, so.
Excellent. Any further discussion on the Elections Committee report?
Just a gentle time reminder, we are 2 minutes over on that right now, and we are behind.
Okay. Next up, a reminder on upcoming GMGP officer elections. It's November, and I want everyone here to start thinking about running for office, specifically GMGP offices. I am posting a link to our bylaws in the chat. And so at our January 9th meeting, we will be electing 4 officers to elect GMGP in 2021. Secretary, currently Patty Ashby, and Treasurer Barb Eisenberg. We will also have 2 co-chairs to elect. This is a little more complicated. Our bylaws call for 2 co-chairs, preferably gender balanced, to serve 2-year terms. We're supposed to elect 1 co-chair in even years and the other in odd years. Problem is, no one sought the job in 2020. So I really want to encourage everyone here, particularly those of you of a different gender than Greg and I represent, think about running for co-chair. I also have an ulterior motive. Except for 2018, I've been functioning as either local convener or co-chair for roughly the last decade. This is not good for the party as a whole, and actually not that great for me. So today I'm announcing my intention to step down as co-chair in January. So now at least 2 of you should really think hard about running for co-chair. Our bylaws also require that committee chairs be ratified by a membership meeting, and we traditionally have done that in January as well. The bylaws committee specifically mentioned membership, elections, and outreach standing committees. And we also have an IT committee. Patty chairs membership, Barbara Dahlgren chairs elections, and Tom Rodman chairs IT, as we've all just heard. I don't think we've had an active outreach committee, at least in recent years, and I'd like to fix that right now. I would like to propose reestablishing the outreach committee today with Mike McAllister as interim chair, to be confirmed with the other committee chairs in January. And that we charge the outreach committee with overseeing the local Green New Deal campaign we adopted as a long-term goal for 2020. If this proposal is passed, I'll have more to say about the campaign in the latter part of the meeting. Is there discussion?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good. It's just that it's the same old manpower issue. I mean, is this going to be a one? So you're going to take the lead on it, Mike, right? And, I mean,
Yes.
So Greg and I have been sort of canvassing, and we've been mentioning the Green No Deal, so you could kind of leverage that activity. But yeah, so I guess it may not be necessarily that much additional work, but all right. No, it
Gentle
sounds good.
time reminder, folks.
Pass.
Zach,
Go ahead, Patty.
oh, only if that discussion's, mine's off topic.
Oh, just go ahead, I guess.
I just want it noted that I was not elected as the secretary. I just jumped in and have been doing it as a volunteer. So FYI.
Oh, goodness. Well, extra thank yous then. And I guess I hadn't realized that.
Hey, Carrie.
I wasn't looking for a pat on the back. I just want you to know that when with elections coming up, I was not elected for the previous year pass.
Okay, we are over time on this item.
Is the proposal to appoint me chair of the outreach committee? Are there blocking concerns? Does anyone wish to stand aside? I guess I'm appointed then. Thank you. Let's see. So we have done that. Barbara has already noted that we need to have an election for the GMGP rep on the state coordinating council. I read between the lines in Barbara's report that she suggests we do not have that election today. Is that your proposal, Barbara?
Barbara Dahlgren, can you hear us? I think you read her proposal, right, Mike?
Yeah.
You heard it correctly.
Okay. In that case, without objection, if there are any concerns, we can move that to next month.
Sounds good.
Yep.
We will do that. As a note, the volunteer job openings remain active. We are looking for folks to be a media representative and a social media coordinator, which are separate posts. So we'll, if anyone is interested in either of those, please let me know. And it sounds like we have, I'm really grateful that we have a substitute leader. Greg, so it looks like we have our ethics code of conduct person.
But that's actually a national committee
Yeah.
opening. So I don't think we do, as far as I'm aware of. The state committee, you know, is, there's a state committee.
Yeah, and the coordinating council is responsible for committee appointments to national bodies anyway. So, we'll get that out of next month's agenda. So we are still running a little bit late, but actually only 3 minutes at this point.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
We are into the public portion of the meeting. Team building.
Yeah, so I'm gonna share my screen. Mike, if you could unshare, or does that matter?
I will stop share.
Okay. And then this is the, let's see where it is here.
We got Carrie and Randall that joined. Just
Welcome, Carrie. Welcome, Randall. Glad you're here.
Good morning.
Hello.
For some reason I can't bring up the, let's see if it's here. I'll go to, okay. Oh, here it is. Okay. So you guys remember this? And let's see, let me get into my screen share here. Tell I'm not real skilled at this. All right, so for our team building, team skills, you remember this document, right?
Yay.
And the reason there's some blanks here is because if any of those things are missing, then we end up with these problems: lack of direction, confusion, anxiety, gradual change, frustration, and false starts. So what we want is dynamic, complex change, right? For our Greater Milwaukee Green Party. So we've already done our needs assessment. Today for our vision part, I'm going to list your suggestions. And if nobody objects, I gave this an extra 3 minutes because it's pretty critical for developing this vision for the year, where we will be developing our annual goals in January. So does anybody object to that extra 3 minutes so we can get these people's vision down? All right. So I'm going to write down what you tell me. And you see in the agenda there, Mike, can you go back to screen sharing the agenda?
I don't know if I can, or
I have to unshare, I think. I'll stop my share here.
mhm.
Okay.
Okay. And
And can you read that statement, Mike, on the vision, please? Because I don't have the agenda up.
okay, yeah, I don't have it up yet, but it is. Vision: to help set long-term goals, short-term objectives, and to focus the collective energy of our team. Share your vision. An example vision: people living in harmony with nature and sustainably with all life, which is the vision of the Pachamama Alliance.
Yeah, so what's your vision, people, for Greater Milwaukee Green Party, and especially for the coming year? I'll keep it stacked. And I can break the ice if nobody else wants to. So basically, you know, my vision for the Greater Milwaukee Green Party is that we are a source in the community that people look to for leadership, especially on the 4 pillars. So grassroots democracy, environmental wisdom. What are the other ones? People help me.
Peace.
Future focus.
Okay.
Feminism.
Okay, I don't think feminism is one of the 4 pillars, but social justice is, which is
Yes.
feminism. So, yeah, so with those things in mind, you know, my vision is that the community looks to us for leadership on those things, and especially as a political party, grassroots democracy. So that's what I'm going to write down as, my vision, what I'm sharing as a vision. Does somebody else want to share their vision for Greater Milwaukee Green Party, and especially for the next year?
Mike Stack,
Go ahead, Mike.
an organization that leads the fight against the climate crisis and for climate justice everywhere.
Okay.
An organization that helps address poverty, economic issues,
Great.
and can help disaffected voters who don't trust the political process or the political system, at least.
So I got poverty issues, disenfranchised voters, and what was the other thing, Sam?
Oh, I just said, yeah, people who don't trust the political system. They're kind of like more disenfranchised. And economic issues, I guess.
Economic issues. Okay, thanks. Anybody else?
I would just say an effective organization. Period. That what we're trying to do is become a more effective team, and we're doing team building, and whatever our goals are, they're no good unless we increase our own efficiency. So to become more efficient as an organization itself, sort of a meta goal. Pass.
Thanks, Tom.
Can I be on the stack?
Go ahead, Barbara.
Yeah, I'd like to see this group become a really effective community that is not only in itself that it works together really well, but that it becomes something that becomes a no-brainer to join if you're in social justice or peace or any of these 4 issues that are the values of the Green Party. That if you're part of the peace movement, you're a Green, and that you don't even really think about joining other orgs because this is where all the policy is happening, and that we're effective in it. Pass.
Thanks, Barbara. Anybody else?
I said this at the last meeting, but I'm really hoping that we can be taken seriously as a party by mainstream and become like a viable option. I don't necessarily know the mechanism how. I know it's going to be a long road. I don't know the mechanism how we're going to do that, but I really hope that we can become an actual like viable third party that is taken seriously and is able to hold some political weight over the duopoly.
Thanks, Sam.
Tom Scott.
Go ahead, Tom. I just want to do a gentle time reminder. We're 1 minute over right now.
So I don't know if I'm outside of the scope, but a specific ongoing goal is to try to get election lawyers, we need to actively recruit a lawyer or 2 that can help us with election law and law in general. Pass.
Thanks, Tom. That's the end of the stack, Mike. I think we can move on. Thanks, everyone. Good ideas, really, really good participation.
Yes, thanks a lot, folks. And yes, really good ideas. Okay, now for our educational piece, we always, for the new folks, we usually try to set aside 20 minutes to talk about more educational stuff. So you learn more about green politics and or what's going on in the community. This month, sometimes we have an outside speaker, and in fact, we do at the December meeting. You can see that on the agenda. We have a leader of the Urban Underground Youth Justice Milwaukee, named Charlene Moore, who's going to come speak to us next month. But today we've just been through an election, and we want to talk about. We'd like folks to talk about how they feel, what's been happening since the November election, and how to move forward. The floor is open.
So I have been looking at the voter suppression issue because so many people, I'm just wondering, folks, can we all like make people feel better about this election and just help them to realize that millions of votes have been suppressed? So the American Civil Liberties Union just put out a report, voter suppression in 2020, and I'm going to try and bring that up as a screen share. But in the meantime, you know, people think that half of the people voted for Trump, and that's really not the case. Millions of votes have been suppressed, and those people would not be voting for Trump mostly. So, you know, we can make people feel better if we talk about voter suppression and how that was not half the people, right, that voted for Trump. Pass.
I'll on a snack.
Patty's
Go ahead,
Barbara.
Well, I think that the first thing to note is that just because Biden is now probably going to be the president, it's still really a major loss for the people, that the people lost out in this election. And there's really not a reason, not a presidential reason anyway, to really be parading in the streets over having a blue tide warmonger over a red tide one. It's just so, it's silly to see all these things about how we're basically out of the woods now that Trump is not going to be the president any longer. And the people know it because we see these other kinds of parades in the streets where they're saying, you know, F Trump, F Biden too. They don't give an F about you. And that's absolutely 100% true. As for the results for the Green Party, we really had an uphill battle and we were extremely suppressed. And it's going to be worse for future elections now that the elections, the Wisconsin Election Commission can just decide to keep people off the ballot because whatever they feel like. They didn't have any evidence to keep us off the ballot. There was no reason that they could, and yet they did. And so we don't even get to know how many votes that the Green Party candidate got. I went around and looked at all 72 counties a couple weeks ago. I haven't had the time to follow up on that. If I could share my screen, I could kind of show you what it looks like so far.
I'll stop sharing.
Can you see what I've got here?
Yep.
Okay, so the counties in yellow don't have they're not going to disaggregate their results. So we know that they have some kind of write-in, but they didn't have a report for how many that Howie Hawkins got. The ones in red had no report at all. We didn't know if they just had 0 write-in votes or if they didn't report any write-ins. And the ones in yellow actually reported their write-ins in a disaggregated way. And there's also this category called scattering, which is whatever came through the write-in machine, came through the machine was a write-in, but we don't know if it's Mickey Mouse or if it's our candidate's name spelled wrong. There were also 62 provisional ballots, 247 overvotes, 917 undervotes for president, and 36 ballots completely left blank from the data I found so far. Our total that we know that we got was 133, but that's out of 7,108 possible votes. That's in addition to 7,000 possible other votes. Our system is just really messed up from what I've found. The fact that each county does their own reporting differently is a huge problem and a huge mess. And, some of these numbers just don't seem to add up very well. So, a lot of people say, oh, we shouldn't say anything about how votes were stolen or that votes were not recorded correctly or anything like that. That helps Trump. But the thing is, Republicans are actually coming around to what we've seen for over 20 years, which is that we have some massive issues with our voting system. People are being suppressed. The whole thing is unfair. It's pretty much been a contest of who's rigging it more. And the Democrats just apparently were slightly better this time. So that's just kind of the way I feel these days. Pass.
Patty, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like until, oh, sorry, I've got an echo. I don't know why. Until the national party becomes a central force for the Green Party in the U.S. to unite all of the states under their umbrella, I really don't see how the Green Party can become a viable party in the United States without the national party becoming a united and organized party that is able to support the states. And when we have states randomly doing their own thing, and Rhode Island now dropping out of the national party, and all of the conflict within the national party, to me, I think that's where it's going to start. And of course, we need to keep working through the state and to have, representatives in the local offices and in elections. But that's just my thought. Pass.
Okay, I have me on the stack too. So I just wanted to reiterate what Patty and Barbara are saying. The nationals, the kind of chaos that's going on and problems with national stuff is due to volunteers too. I mean, we really need to get more people involved, right? And I'm thinking one of the ways we can do that locally is to have a marketing thing that, and I really hate bringing up ideas like this when I can't volunteer to do them. I don't think it's really fair to bring up an idea when I can't do it. But I think one of the things we could use as a marketing ploy for Greater Milwaukee Green Party is to start educating people about what's going on with the Green Party internationally. Because even though we're blocked, successfully in the United States, that's not the case in Canada. There's lots going on with the Green Party in Canada and around the world. I mean, the Prime Minister of Holland is a Green Party member. So, there's lots of stuff going on all over the world with the Green Party. So if someone could take that up I'm just throwing that out, but then we could have a little international report at each meeting about exciting stuff that's happening with the Green Party around the world. So just throwing that out as an idea. And I also want to thank Barbara for bringing up, the stuff about us being suppressed as a third party, because that's another way that voter suppression is happening. And that's not on the American Civil Liberties Union report. But I would like to just share my screen. Are you done screen sharing, Barbara? Can't hear you. I'm just going to assume you said yes. Okay, here's the, let's see if I can even find it here. Oh my gosh. For some reason, it's not coming up.
How many votes did we get in Milwaukee, if I may ask? Was Milwaukee data on the list?
Answer-
I can answer that. We didn't have disaggregated results in Milwaukee. And I actually did call the clerk's office about that. Milwaukee County had, I'm trying to find Milwaukee, hang on. Milwaukee had 1,617 write-in votes, but we don't know who they're for. And
That's really shady.
yeah, that's a problem. And I called the clerk's office and asked if we can get those results disaggregated. And the clerk told, or the person at the office told me that we could pay for the results at 50 cents a page, whatever that means. I don't know if that's like individual ballots, getting 1,000 some ballots individually, or getting like a page of results from each municipality individually. I have no idea what that means, but they pretty much said that we can't really see those results until the state decides to disaggregate them after everything is all said and done, which is a problem. I mean, we can't contest the election because we're not even close to being second, runner up at all. But we had a couple of people contact the Wisconsin Green Party from other areas of the state where they said they voted for Howie Hawkins and their county showed 0 votes for Howie Hawkins. Ooh. So this is a huge problem that we have votes that are not being counted. Even if it's 1 or 2 votes, that's a huge concern. I'll pass though.
Thanks, Barbara.
Tom Stack.
Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so just to run through this really quickly, and then I'll get to you, Tom. So this is the American Civil Liberties Union report, and they talk about voter IDs laws as suppressing the vote, voter registration restrictions, which Wisconsin is listed on that report as one of the worst for voter restriction. Voter purges, felony disenfranchisement, gerrymandering.
Greg, could you post the link to
chat?
To the chat?
Sure, I can.
It'll give us.
Sure. Go ahead, Tom.
So Greg and I have done canvassing based on voting results, and we have a calendar in the Wisconsin Campaign Training School that has it must have 100 separate dates. So there is a point at which the results are published, and at least the non-write-in votes, they're all published ward by ward. But yeah, it's considerably after the election. It's weeks. It might be weeks after certification. And then the other issue is I did the 2016 recount, and the Board of Canvass, they create PDF files. And I believe in the PDF files, they have all the write-in candidates. And I reviewed multiple counties with each one having multiple wards. So if somebody wants to volunteer for that recount, they should probably get in touch with me. I still have all my old records and I could help I don't know that I have the time, but it's real yeoman's work. I must put, so enough on that, pass.
Gentle time reminder. Gentle time reminder. Go ahead, Bill. I also work the Jill Stein campaign, so if anyone wants to contact me about the recount, I can have some info, help too on that. Go ahead, Bill.
I'd like to second what Patty had to say. The Green Party on the national level is not in very good shape, and it's in a very fractious state, in fact. And if we are going to see the Green Party as an effective force nationally, as it is in Australia and Canada and Germany and other places, we need to get our house in order on a national level. And I would suggest that the best way to do that is for the Wisconsin Party, the Wisconsin Green Party needs to get on board in supporting Howie Hawkins and others in the organization who are committed to transforming the Green Party into a membership-based organization like the Wisconsin Party. Howie has pointed out the need to get away from a Green Party which is merely a federation of ballot lines, and we need to build a membership-based party. That's my first point. My second point is, I do not believe that the Trumpites are now coming around to the Green point of view on voter suppression and election malfeasance. There is a fundamental difference between the Trumpites and the Greens. The Trumpites are pathological liars on the question of election fraud and election malfeasance, and the Greens tell the truth. So we need to be very distinct on the difference between our critique and what the Trump forces, Donald Trump and his minions, are currently pushing. Pass.
We are at time on that item, Mike, and there is no more stack.
All righty then. I will go back to sharing the agenda. Thanks everyone for participating. And let's see, so next up is announcements, and I will get those posted momentarily. 'Cause there we go. For those on the phone, GMGP and coalition events are posted under events and on our GMGP page on Facebook. Please go and visit there from time to time to see what we're up to. And I'll put in another plug for the discussion group, which is also called Greater Milwaukee Green Party. So we can make that another place for us to engage in conversation and also building the party among folks who don't know us as well. There's a link to a YouTube video on the manufactured coin shortage, and folks should have a look at Ithaca Hours, a local currency that's been around for a very long time. And Howard Switzer also has a couple of short books related to what's happening currently with our currency. You can get those from Greg.
The last thing is an organization called 3.14action.org, and they are all about electing scientists to office. So that's just a new announcement.
Thanks, Greg. Coalition updates. Greg, you want to take this over?
Sure. So in the last election, cannabis was a big winner. 15 states have now either, before we move on, Mike, Randall, did you want to talk about what you said about in the chat about the coin shortage thing?
I wasn't referring to the coin shortage. I was referring to spending money to be a part of the Green Party.
Okay, what would you want to say about that?
Personally speaking, my stance is I think we should go the opposite direction. Just I don't feel strongly that people should have to pay to be involved in this movement. To me, it feels like it's the exact opposite of what we should be doing.
Yes, and we agree with that totally. As a matter of fact, we allow anybody to be a part of the Greater Milwaukee Green Party by just donating 1 hour of time. So is that what you're talking about?
Oh, totally. Yeah, totally.
Okay. So I haven't been watching the chat. Have you, Mike?
Mostly, but not in the last 2 minutes.
Okay. So if somebody says something on the chat, I'm not watching that. Sorry. So Mike is. So he will bring up your concern, I imagine.
Yes.
Carrie asked that you post that link, that ACLU link.
I will.
Great. Okay.
But I won't be able to do it right now. I'll have to do it at the end of the meeting. Sorry, I should have announced that. So anyway, cannabis was a big winner. 15 states have now either enacted or have voted to enact adult use legalization laws. These are the federal election results. While 36 states have either enacted or have voted to enact medical marijuana access laws. And yeah, so that's our Southeast Wisconsin Normal Coalition partner update. And Tom, did you want to do an End of the Wars Coalition Stand for Peace update, or does somebody else want to do that?
Nothing new. Both the Quaker group and the Wars, they're healthy and moving on, using Zoom meetings. Peace Action had their annual dinner meeting. Something that we should leverage at the state level is that Pam, this is more IT, but that Pam Richards, who's manages Peace Action Nation Builder, now joined the Green Party. So I'm hoping, to help utilize her skills with Nation Builder. Pass.
Okay, and then let's see, we'll prompt there to wear your Green Party merch. Wisconsin for Safe Technology, especially dealing with 5G threats to our health. A woman named CC Doucette spoke to the Ashland County Board about this issue. And so Ashland is one of the communities that's leading on, protecting their population from 5G. And the proposal I'm making is that, if somebody has the energy, we get CC Doucette to come and speak to our county board, if they would even allow her to speak to them. But really, really powerful speaker, really good. And then Milwaukee Community Care and Mutual Aid. Angela Walker had some advice for us. And what she was basically saying, I was going to screen share it, but it's actually not that easy to screen share. So I think I'm going to skip this one. It's only 2 sentences, but she said that what we need to be doing is getting out into the community of color. Because I was saying that we want it to be more diverse. How do we accomplish that? We're obviously not accomplishing it so far. And she was saying that, we need to get out into the community and actually help with day-to-day needs. And right now, a big need is food, right? And a big need is shelter. So a friend of mine was telling me that he was evicted this summer, and he was on the street for 18 days. And he was totally shocked that none of the shelters were taking people because of the virus. And then on the news, I saw where the soup kitchens are also closed down because of the virus, a lot of them. And people can't even find a place to go to the bathroom So, that's one of the ways. I think that's not exactly what Angela was saying, but I think she would agree that that is probably one of the most critical needs in Milwaukee right now with this cold weather coming. So any way we can help the homeless and wear our merch when we're doing it, homeless people could really bring our party forward. That's what the Poor People's Campaign is all about, and what what's the lady's name from Pennsylvania? She just spoke at our fall gathering.
Sherry Hunkle.
Yes, Sherry Hunkla, that's what she's all about too, is helping poor people. So we can do that in Milwaukee. But again, I'm really into the marketing thing to put that in place. So I think we need to market the Green Party as an international force, which a lot of these other parties are not. That's our big, I think, marketing, something we can really hook people with. I mean, we're an international party. So if anybody wants to take on that role as international reporter for our monthly meetings, I will help you with that. Pass.
Greg, just as a technical note, you can copy any text or links from their source and paste them into the chat.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, that's a good
So
suggestion.
both Angela and the ACLU report.
Was that you, Patty, on the stack?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Just following on what you were saying, Greg, and what Angela Walker, I took her point to be that, and I think it would be really beneficial. We always talk about how can we connect with communities of color. And so what I believe Angela Walker was saying is the Green Party needs to work with those organizations that are working in those communities. And so if the Green Party were to reach out to these organizations that are doing great work on the ground already and have programs in place but need support, we could connect with them by reaching out and saying, how can we help you with your mission? Pass.
Good point, Patty. Thanks. Yep.
Sam, Stack,
Go ahead, Sam.
does anyone know if the organization Food Not Bombs is present in Milwaukee at all? I think they'd be great organization to work with if they were.
They have been. I have not heard about them recently. So
Gentle time reminder. We are at time on this item.
okay. But yeah, we should certainly look them up and see if there's an active chapter still.
Thank you, Mike.
Moving on without objection. These are really great ideas, by the way, folks. So yeah, we need to move on many of them. First, the next item on the agenda, we've talked a little bit about recounts, but who wants to make another pitch for participation?
I will. I put that on there just because I got the Howie Hawkins email too, and I also got an email from Gwen Moore. So, I don't think the Democrats would actually care. They're actually doing training. So they have a training thing. So if somebody wants to participate in the recount and learn about that, you can be trained by the Democrats and then go there and get in for sure. If you get trained by the Democrats, you might not even get in to participate because they already have enough people participating for the Democrats. You can definitely get in for the Greens because the Greens don't have anybody participating in Milwaukee right now, as far as I know. So any questions about that?
Patty, Stack.
Go ahead, Patty.
Where are we on the agenda right now?
Request for recount participation, first item on the agenda. It's a new, you might not have it on your agenda.
After coalition updates.
Thank you.
So we're at time on that one, Mike.
Barbara Stack.
Go ahead, Barbara.
I just wanted to let people know that I would love to be part of the recount, but I am in my last month of my master's degree and I need to focus 100% on that. So if anybody else is doing the recount and working on that, I'd love to hear the result of it. I'd love to hear all about it and be part of that, but I don't have the time at this moment. Pass.
Okay. That's the end of the stack on that, Mike.
On that point, it would be really good if people who are participating in the recount observation process, if they could post experiences either on the Facebook page or the GMGP mailing list. I think that might be useful for those of us who can't participate, but we're already over time, so. Kenosha efforts. We've had.
Go ahead,
Greg.
Mike.
No, go
Well,
ahead.
I was just going to say that Mike and I decided that we wanted to continue having this item on the agenda, because that's another way of actually building our chapter, because we've worked with the Kenosha Greens before. So we can reach out to the Kenosha Greens and support the Jacob Blake efforts there. If somebody wants to take that on, just get a hold of me. I'll help you with that. And there is no stack on that one, Mike.
Okay. Did anyone want to speak on that? Hearing none.
I'll
Go ahead, Barb.
do one thing. If anybody runs into some Kenosha Greens and they want to get involved on the state level, we didn't have anybody for District 1, so they are entitled to leadership too. Pass.
Thanks.
Next up, short-term objective proposals. We have, there's Alex Brower, who we have now endorsed. We also want to, so we will pay attention to stuff going on in other campaigns.
Sam also wanted to speak about that, Mike.
Oh, okay.
The school board.
You're on, Sam.
Yeah, I talked about this at the state meeting, but I was planning to run for the Milwaukee school board. I think it's representing the southeast side. I think it's District 8 or 7.
Is that up this year, 2021 or?
2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have some time.
Yeah, we do. Megan was just elected last year, so I got some time, but I'm working on creating like a website, hoping maybe get some flyers printed out or something. But yeah. Of course, I'd be seeking her endorsement if possible. But yeah, I'll probably be my campaign will be in full swing soon, hopefully.
Thanks for running, Sam.
No problem.
Short-term objectives. Further discussion on the eminent domain issue.
And that was actually part of Angela Walker's advice too. You know, she's talking about getting into the streets with communities of color and letting them know that we are helping with their basic needs. So housing, food, those kind of things. So housing definitely applies to the eminent domain powers of the city. You know, they can allow people to go into those unproductive resources owned by absentee landlords and let people live in those properties, that kind of thing. And yeah, so.
Barbara Stack.
Go ahead, Barbara.
I posted Alex Brower's website in the chat, and he's having some campaign events this weekend. Tomorrow they're doing canvassing in the afternoon. They, if you don't bring gloves and a mask, they will provide those things to you. But they're going to have to be door to door signature gathering all December. So it would be good to start thinking about that stuff. Pass.
Okay, and just to get back to our short-term objective, so the proposal is actually to call the mayor and the city council, your city council members, about utilizing the city's eminent domain powers. So that's a proposal I'm making as for a short-term objective. Do you want to call that, Mike?
Is there discussion on the proposal?
I was out with some DSA members a couple of weeks ago. Maybe it was a little longer than that, but they were talking about their plans to continue fighting for takeover of We Energies in the next year and just that eminent domain campaign. So I think that it would be really good for us to keep in touch with DSA on this too, so because we could double or triple our efforts in doing so. Pass.
Thanks, Barbara. Gentle time reminder, Mike.
Okay. Any further discussion on this point? Greg, you want to restate your proposal?
Sure, that we call the mayor and our city council representatives and tell them that we want our local government to exercise their eminent domain powers to put unproductive resources owned by absentee landowners and corporations to work for the community. So basically allowing people to live in empty houses is one of the main things that you want to focus on in those phone calls.
Okay. Is there any blocking concerns on approving this question? Are there anyone who wishes to stand aside? Hearing none, we have consensus.
Okay, and just for everybody's information too, we have Mike and I talked about these phone call proposals. How effective are they? So at the next meeting, what I would like to do is put out my email for people to contact me if they have called the mayor or their city council representative or their sheriff, which is another one of our short-term objectives that already passed in the past. Just to see how effective these proposals are, we want to get you would be doing it confidentially. Your name would not be shared whether you did it or not, but I'm going to put that out at the next meeting if nobody objects. There's one more there, it looks like.
Door to door for the Green New Deal.
And we are already doing that actually, but I can give you an update on it. As far as statistics goes, so Tom and I have been doing South Milwaukee, and on two of the streets, I'll just give you two of the streets so you have a little idea what the data is showing. 55% of the men and 33% of the women had heard of the Green New Deal on one street, and 60% of the men and 75% of the women had heard about the Green New Deal on another street. So people are learning about the Green New Deal, at least in South Milwaukee, where we were. And before that, we were in Elm Grove, and we actually moved away from Elm Grove. I was doing that one by myself because the thing there was 55% of the men had heard about the Green New Deal, but 100% of the women had heard about the Green New Deal. So when I saw that statistic, I was like, no, we don't need to be over in this part of Elm Grove. So I moved to Blue Mound and south of Blue Mound, and 66% of the men and only 40% of the women had heard about the Green New Deal there. So that was a better neighborhood to do education on the Green New Deal. Did you want to do an update on that, Tom?
Not much to say. I wonder who's got a speaker going. Anyhow, I would say that maybe about 1.5 out of 10 are viciously opposed to it. Not all Trumpers are. I don't, like I said, I didn't keep track of the statistics. So you do, sometimes that's a showstopper. You bring up the Green New Deal and the Republicans think, it's a handout and it's like they practically slam the door in your face. But the rule, as a rule, I think people either hadn't heard and were interested, or, they were open to the idea that of the Green New Deal pass.
I'd just like to say on that too, what we're handing out, just so you know, so you can vote on this proposal, is a Green Party piece of literature that has what the Green Party proposes for the Green New Deal and what the Democrats are proposing for the Green New Deal on the face page. And it's a half sheet of paper. And so what I say is, have you heard of the Green New Deal? When they open up the door, they'll either say yes or no. And then I say, well, this tells what the Democrats are saying about the Green New Deal, and this tells what the Green Party is saying about the Green New Deal. Can I give you one of these? And mostly they say yes. So it's a good way to educate them about the Green New Deal, and it's also a good way to educate them about how the Democrats' Green New Deal falls short. So that's the proposal, that we continue doing that, and that we make it one of our short-term objectives for goal number 1 and goal number 2.
Tom, stop.
Go ahead, Tom.
We had talked about, I think we could increase our effectiveness by having either stickers or a stamp, because we're going to do this again where we print up flyers and we forget to put the basics about the local party on there. I think we should have our website, our Google Voice phone number, and maybe one other thing. So when we hand a flyer out, it's not just the main message, but we have the basic contact info on it. So like maybe a rubber stamp, or like I said, stickers would be a good idea.
Yeah, that could be a friendly amendment that I would accept, Tom.
Okay, pass.
Greg, Randall's asking for a PDF of the flyer that we're handing out. I could use one too, although I may have one.
We have a place for flyers on the Google Drive. In other words, as a matter of process, we should put these all out in the public.
Can you post that to the chat, Mike or Tom?
Don't you think, why don't you and I, oh yeah, I can post the URL to that in the chat. I'll do that.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
And then do you want to call that one, Mike? Because we are at time.
Yes. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Is there anyone with blocking concerns? And anyone who wishes to stand aside? We have consensus. Greg, could I ask you to take over the chair for a moment?
Sure. The next item is outreach actions, and the Save Our VA thing hasn't happened yet, but we do have a new bar to go to. That's close to my house, so I'm hoping to do that. If anyone wants to join me, just let me know.
Patty's back.
Go ahead, Patty.
Going back to the proposals, were we just approving all of those short-term objective proposals, Alex Brower?
Yes. Yep.
All of those?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you'll also see on outreach actions the Black Lives Matter URL, and that does include the local People's Revolution actions on there. So those are ongoing. They're happening every week, and people do appreciate our support when we show up at them. And then we can skip down to a fall gathering recap. We just have 3 minutes for that. If somebody wants to say anything about the fall gathering, positive or negative. Hearing nothing, I'm just assuming.
No, Tom.
Go ahead, Tom.
I've looked at the election data from the point of view of just archiving it, and then I initially started going through it to review it, and Dave has reviewed it. So my sense is, in a sense, we haven't really certified the election yet because we use the nada. I'm getting into the inside baseball stuff, but we use some pretty obscure concepts, one of which is the none of the above concept. So I think we need a powwow, the co-chairs and possibly Monty and myself before we, at least that's my, hope I didn't muddy things up, but anyhow.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that, Tom, because I haven't, like, I don't know who got elected after the fall gathering. I know who got elected before the fall gathering, but after the fall gathering, I don't know. So is that what you're saying? That hasn't been completed
Well,
yet?
that's my position. There's been some chatting back and forth in one of the hangouts. I wasn't able to look at the results really until Friday.
Okay.
And
Gentle time reminder on this one, folks. We're at time. Anybody have something quick they want to say about the fall gathering?
Patty Stack.
Go ahead, Patty.
I just wanted to say that all in all, I thought it was, a great success as far as how the day was delivered and carried out smoothly. And I'd also like to compliment the IT team on the voting. I found the ballot and elections, Barbary, elections and IT. I found it to be incredibly easy to use, easy to understand. And so thank you all for the work on that. I know it was a lot of work following a very busy week preparing for the fall gathering. So thanks all for that. It was really great. Pass.
Thanks,
Carrie?
Patty. Who was that?
Carrie,
Go ahead, Carrie.
I just want to make one comment about the fall gathering. I want to say that I was appalled at some of the behavior that we witnessed, especially coming from leadership. We cannot be a party that is expansive when it shuts out and disparages feminists that are activists and that are trying to participate. And that's really all I have to say. I'm disgusted with that behavior, and I would like to see that addressed. Pass.
Thanks, Carrie.
Stack.
Go ahead, Sam.
I just want to say that I do think that there is a distinction between feminism and, just shitting on trans people. And
Okay.
I think we need to be honest with that distinction.
I would like to respond to that, if I may.
Okay, well, first we have Patty on the stack, and then I'll put you on the stack, Carrie. But I do have to remind folks that we are at the end of this item. We have the rest of our agendas to get through. So I'm going to cut off the stack at Carrie then. Patty, go ahead.
Well, I just want to say that as this was an issue that occurred at the state level, state gathering, I do understand the concerns that Carrie has, and I think this is something that the state CC need to have take up and discuss and so on. And since it wasn't a Greater Milwaukee Party specific issue, I do think it should be up for a discussion at the state level. Pass.
Thanks. Go ahead, Carrie, and respond, but please keep it quick.
Yes, first of all, I just wanted to respond to Sam and correct his framing. Defending the sex-based rights of women and the representation of women, particularly in a political party that claims feminism as a key value, is not anti-trans. defending the sex-based rights of women is a positive thing. And I object to that framing. And second of all, yes, this is being addressed at the National Party, and starting from the National Party on down, it's been a top-down effort to suppress feminist voices within the party. As a matter of fact, I was just booted from the National Women's Caucus for bringing up the topic of women's sex-based rights in the National Women's Caucus. This too is appalling. Pass.
Thanks, Carrie, for keeping it brief. Okay, and we do have one more short-term objective on the next item, door-to-door membership recruiting proposal. And Tom, can you speak about that?
Oh, okay. So I'm just proposing, if I know what you're referring to, that we go specifically to River West, because I had so many good responses petitioning, and maybe while that's relatively familiar, and try to recruit, just do some cold canvassing there to, in the spirit of Howie Hawkins, try to listen to people, try to identify leadership in the neighborhoods, and at the same time try to recruit people to the Green Party. Pass.
I'm going to put myself on the stack for that. Patty, do you think that should be something, a proposal for the membership committee rather than for the group, like Greater Milwaukee Green Party entitled membership? Because, you know, it seems like something that the membership committee would have to be behind, or I suppose it wouldn't have to be, but unless, you know, because you could object to it or whatever, but that's the proposal. Is there any other discussion of that?
Patty.
Go ahead.
So I'm not understanding why we need a proposal. Pass.
Well, just as one of our short-term objectives, people may want to go door to door for membership recruiting on the east side, because it's a fertile neighborhood for that, is what Tom's saying. So, you know, how do you feel about that?
Well, could this be moved into the items that we already, all the short-term objectives that we've just proposed, as this is being proposed as a short-term objective?
Yes, it could be. Yep. And then any other discussion on that proposal? I can't use the chat right now, so please just, if you have a discussion on it, just say your name and say chat. I mean, say stack.
And so far, we do not.
Okay, good. So do you want to call that one then, Mike? Because we are a little bit over time.
Yes. Is there any objection to adopting this proposal of any sort? Hearing none, we have consensus.
And Patty's going to include that with our other short-term objectives. There's nobody else on the stack, so we're done.
Armistice Day.
Did somebody go to that would like to recap that? Oh, I just wanted, I put union update there because I went to a Veterans for Peace demonstration at the VA Center. They were trying to help the union employees there who are under siege by the Trump administration. So they were asking people to show up there and just let people know that the union for the VA employees is under siege. And I don't know, that's not part of the Armistice Day recap, but just part of the Veterans for Peace initiative.
Tom Stack.
Go ahead, Tom.
So I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this name right, but I believe it's Paul Moriarty was the IT tech person, I believe, that put on the Zoom event. And Mark Foreman reported back on how that went. And he said, boy, you guys, you have to rehearse before you do Zoom. But as a rule, I think it went okay. And so I'm just hoping there is a recording of that. So between Mark and Paul, you know, I'll attempt to dig into that. I just didn't have time to watch it. Yes.
Okay, that's the end of the stack on that one, Mike, and we are out of time on that anyway.
Okay. Greg, how many people were approximately at the union thing?
I would say 7 or 8. Pam was there. So
Okay, appreciate it.
Oh, and just following back, the Armistice Day event was a success in terms of the numbers. It was some impressive over 100 number. I want to
I
pass.
saw that too. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, and Mike, just to answer your question about representation, there were only 2 people there from the actual union because they are really retaliating against people that are union fighters as well. So they didn't even feel comfortable showing up for the protest. Pass.
That's frightening.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's the end of the stack on that one.
Election Defenders Protect the Vote rally on the 7th.
Yeah, so I thought that was going to be more about, like, you know, voter suppression and election suppression, election results suppression. But what they did was they decided it was going to be a celebration, like Barbara's talking about, dancing in the streets for Joe Biden kind of thing, you know, which I think a lot of people enjoyed, just feeling like something good had happened. But like Barbara said, and I recently, yesterday actually, saw more about Joe Biden's record. You know, it's really, hopefully he makes a huge change in his past performance. But at this point, you know, his record is nothing to celebrate for people. And like Barbara's saying, people are learning that if they don't already know it. So, but there was like, I would say 300 people there. And then there was a huge car caravan after that rally all through the city. And it was very well attended and a very joyful thing for the people. Pass.
Any further discussion on this? This was the protest. This was originally called by folks who were trying to prevent a coup,
Right.
which I thought was, which I always thought was a little bit unlikely. But in any case, I'm glad we had. I'm glad you went, Greg, and appreciate the report. Any further discussion? Hearing none. I guess it's my turn again. So I want to thank you for reestablishing the outreach committee. In 2021 and beyond, we have a chance to fulfill our destiny and explode one of the central myths about our party, that we only care about global issues and not the day-to-day struggles of working people living in their communities. If you've been around me long enough, you may already be tired of my talking about the Green Party as the party who seeks to be the voice of social movements at the ballot box. But I am painfully aware that the last time GMGP was recognized as a key component of a social movement in the city was the fight to defend public education in Milwaukee at the beginning of the last decade. In 2021, we can help launch a movement that combines the global movement for climate justice with a local focus. As a result, I want to identify potential green candidates for city councils and the state legislature in 2022 and beyond. Since the election, I've been reviewing Howie's Green Economy's Reconstruction Program and Economic Bill of Rights, the Eco-Socialist New Deal, for ideas and preparing a list of demands to make on city and county leaders. I would like to schedule a meeting of the new outreach committee, meeting sometime in September to focus on reviewing that program and identifying potential coalition partners to reach out to. Our program may not turn out to be the coalition's final list, but will give us a good starting point. I think that our coalition could begin with Milwaukee Democratic Socialists of America, Solidarity, the Sunrise Movement, and perhaps 350.org. We should also reach out to progressive organizations representing communities of color because those are the folks impacted the most. I also want us to think broadly about who else to reach out to, the labor movement, religious communities, and the like, because our goal is to build a massive movement on the streets to defend the planet and its people over profit. If we do this right, we can also turn movement leaders into candidates. This would ordinarily be the time I would start passing around a sign-up sheet for people to join the outreach committee. But since I can't, I'd like everybody to please send me an email if you are interested in participating in this campaign. I posted my email in the chat. It's workingwriter@prodigy.net. I'd really like to have 5 people on the committee and then use Doodle to schedule a meeting sometime in December. Realize that's a difficult month for some folks, but let's see how it goes. We have to start building a national movement for a Green New Deal at the local level. It's not going to happen top down. If it is to be the best possible Green New Deal, it can't be based on nebulous congressional resolutions. Let's get started here. Get started now.
Are you passing, Mike?
Pass.
So just as a part of the discussion, I did talk to George Martin a few days ago, and he was telling me that, you know, that 70-page report that the County City Task Force on Sustainability and Economic Justice did, he said they are way past that now, or they're making good progress. So I'm not sure how we could connect up with that resource in the community, but be nice to have them be part of the coalition, or at least have some kind of, I don't know, some kind of way to connect with them as a coalition partner. And then also Normal, you know, deals with the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and I think they could be a good coalition partner too. So that would be Southeastern Wisconsin Normal, and good leadership there, and I think they could be a powerful Green New Deal coalition partner. I don't think they definitely see themselves as that, but they really are, because that's so much of a social justice thing, really affects the diversity issue more than it affects white folks. But, you know, Normal, I'll try to push that with Normal. And then also our Black Lives Matter reach out. It seems like Black Lives Matter is being more and more firmly embedded in our community. So maybe we could also have them be part of the coalition for that committee, because it seems like what latest studies are showing is that people of color, especially Black folks, are more interested in environmental issues than white folks are right now. So I thought that was interesting. Pass.
Barbara Stack.
Go ahead, Barbara.
I think that we have to be wary about how we coalesce with other people, and how we work with people that we call our friends, because Normal leaders, people in all kinds of coalitions that we've been friends with in the past, the Sunrise Movement, a lot of these groups, even 501c3s that are not supposed to get political, have absolutely supported Joe Biden and were, you know, parading in the streets about Joe Biden and think that he's going to be their savior. A lot of these organizations had a ton of money injected into them by the Democratic Party throughout the election year and are going to be sorely, they're going to be very sore in the coming years for the lack of money that they're going to have, because it's all going to have been dried up since they're not politically convenient for the Democrats going forward. So if we, you know, we have to kind of make it clear with these people that we're welcoming into our coalitions, that we're not just some group that they can now drop like a hot potato when it's just convenient for them. That the more that they interact with us, the more stake that they have to have with what we're doing, and that support of a Democratic organization, support of the Democratic Party or the Working Families Party over us after being in a coalition with us on an issue could be a deal breaker for us, and that we wouldn't help them in the future should they just act like we don't exist after we help them with these campaigns that we help them with and all kinds of other stuff. I think it's completely ridiculous that people can say that they're green, that they put on this front that they're green, and then drop us when the going gets tough because the Democratic Party has more money. So I think that
Gentle
we
time
really
reminder,
think about
folks.
that. Pass.
Patty, stop.
Go ahead, Patty.
It's my view that it's important that we keep engaging with coalition partners, because if we don't keep engaging with them, we keep shrinking ourselves down to a small group that will never build and grow. And by continuing to engage with coalition partners, they would be able to continue to see the work we're doing. And while they may not always be 100% green, I feel it's better to stay engaged with more and more people than just to keep cutting people off. Pass.
Okay. That's the end of the stack on that one, Mike, and we are at time on that.
Okay. I am, I'll say briefly that I am completely mostly with Barb on this stuff, at least. We have to be, in order to build a mass movement, we have to relate to groups that are not completely with us, but absolutely we will not participate in the coalition that completely ignore that will completely ignore us. We do have to be really careful about all of this. But I think one of the reasons that I want to do this, and I actually wasn't going to say this in the main meeting, but we absolutely want to expose some we want to understand who really is for a Green New Deal and some who just like the slogan. That's what I'll say.
Okay. That's the end of the staff on that one, and we are at time.
Thanks, everyone. And I again appreciate folks who have messaged me already, and would appreciate more folk. Anyone who wants to be involved, please let me know.
Mike, can we leave the chat open for a while after the meeting too, or Tom or whoever, just so I can look at the chat, because I haven't been able to look at
it? Sure, I'll wait to close the meeting. It's also saved, but yeah, I'll hang around.
Tom, would you be okay with us moving the discussion list open to the public to our next meeting?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Tom. I was just going to ask you the same thing.
wasn't prepared. I'm not prepared anyway, so pass.
Quickly, proposal to demand from local government that people be allowed to live. Oh, we did that already.
Yep, we did that. Well, the only part that was added by somebody to that last time was that we use vacant land for small agriculture. So Patty, could that be added to that proposal?
Without anyone's objection.
Our short-term objective? Can you hear us, Patty?
Trying to unmute. So Greg, if you can hang on with me for a bit after the meeting, I would like to go back through that and make sure I get the whole thing down correctly.
Sure, sounds good. So that's the end of the stack on that one, Mike. Oh, did you want to call that, Mike, just to make sure?
Any objection to adding the small agriculture bit to the previous resolution?
I mean, I've just got a note on it since I was the one who proposed that originally. I've had friends in Milwaukee who were trying to do, community gardening on random vacant lots, and the city kind of told them to cut it out. So it's ridiculous that would even happen, and I thought it would be a good addition. Pass.
Thanks, Barbara. That's the end of the stack, Mike.
Okay. Without objection, we'll proceed. Items for next month's agenda. Yet another early reminder. We should begin to start thinking about new annual goals, long-term goals next month. And we, as well as accepting nominations or self-nominations for officer elections. Both, if we get lucky, we can have both of those discussions in January.
Okay.
Finally, accomplishments and recognition. Folks can see that on the agenda. I can read them if people want me to.
Yeah, I wish you would, Mike, or I will if you don't want to, but whoever, I think it should be read.
We want to thank Barbara Dahlgren for leading the social remote get-togethers consistently. That's been absolutely wonderful, although I haven't been to one for a while. Me, Tom, Barbara, and everyone else who participated in working on the write-in campaign.
Barbara, did you have any local additions to that? We don't want to skip anybody. That's why I put get list from Barbara there. I know you and Tom and Mike worked on the write-in campaign, but is anybody we're leaving out locally?
I'd have to think about that.
Okay, well, Mike can continue and then you can think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, chime in as necessary. Thank again, Greg and Tom, for doing the door-to-door work. Jennifer, Tom, and Monty for doing stuff on the website, which is absolutely, I looked at it a few days ago to show the bylaws. Incidentally, that's where the all the information is on what each officer does, and what their responsibilities are. So people should go look at that link that I posted a while back. So thanks for the website. Me, Tom, Patty, Bill, Sam, Bruce, Monty, Tomas, and Barbara D. for running for party offices at the gathering last week. Thanks again. Thanks again to the fall gathering. Make it happen, folks. Rick Lurchie, Tomas Ward, Monty Letourneau, Barbara Dahlgren, Tom Rodman, Me, not so much. Bill Bryan and Patty Ashby. Thanks to everybody. And are we missing anybody else? Chime in if we left you out. Hearing none. Who volunteered? Who volunteered to do what? I want to thank the folks, several folks who have signed up for the outreach committee, and will be in touch soon. Go check the chat for the announcement of the next Green Social. And I think that's it for volunteers. We are ready for the call to action.
Yeah, and I'm just looking for it. I had it out here. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. Okay. Call to action. We believe in alternative independent politics.
We believe in alternative independent politics
and active responsible government.
and active responsible government.
We believe in empowering of all citizens.
We believe in empowering all citizens
and communities to create the world we want.
and communities to create the world we want.
We offer hope and a call to action.
We offer hope
and a
call to action.
Green and growing.
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 Thanks, everybody.
I forgot to mention that was the audience participation part for the new folks.
Can I just toss out Magic Hat donations continue to be appreciated since we're not meeting in person. You can send those to Barbara Eisenberg, and her address is in the will be in the minutes. It's in the agenda as well.
Yep. Thanks, Patty.
And our next meeting will be the second Saturday of December, December 12th. Same bat time, same bat channel, or same Zoom window, I suppose. And I continue to check to see if the libraries will be open. We used to meet in libraries in the previous century. And as soon as they reopen for public meetings, we are likely to go back there. Thanks, everyone, for participating. Chat will be open for a little while longer, so please have a look at that. There's also an option to save the chat to your hard drive. And that's an option. So thanks everybody for coming, and we'll see you in December.
Thanks,
see ya,
Mike.
Bye-bye.
And Greg,
right.
stay on with me. Bye, everybody.
Yeah. We can go ahead, Patty, I guess.
So can you please just slowly restate the proposal for city exercising eminent domain powers?
Sure. Mike, can you stop screen sharing?
Oh, yes, I can.
Thanks. And then I'll just read it right from the agenda, Patty.
Just a quick thing. You can steal from Mike. You don't have to be that polite. I think you can just grab the screen.
Oh, okay, I see. Interesting.
All right.
So Patty, the proposal that you're adding to is the one on the eminent domain?
Yeah, I just need to get that.
The last part?
Well, the whole thing as we approved it, whatever was approved.
Okay, so the last The only thing we're adding is and use vacant land for small agriculture.
So otherwise, you've got the whole thing in the latest version of the agenda,
Uh,
or can you just read it to me again so I don't have to go hunting for it?
the whole thing? Sure, I can try to piece it together. It's in two different places.
Let me tell you what I have. That might be easier.
Okay.
To encourage local governments to exercise their eminent domain powers, to put unproductive resources owned by absentee landlords and corporations to work for the community, and use vacant land for small agricultural work. And then Barbara also added to work with the DSA on this.
I don't know if we'd want to put that in the proposal, but I think that was a suggestion that she was making. I don't think she was suggesting that that be part of the proposal. Are you still on, Barbara?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that was part of her, I don't think she wanted that to be part of the written proposal. I think that was just a suggestion that she was making.
Otherwise, is it okay?
Well, the actual proposal is to, the beginning of that should be call the mayor and your local city council representatives.
Hold on, because I might have that somewhere. We've gotten it, like, there are a couple of different places where we've got these short-term objectives.
Right.
On the agenda. So that's why I get confused with these on the agenda, because we have them up in the beginning of the meeting and then we talk about them again later in the meeting. So, so I'm going to copy from up at the beginning, call the sheriff.
Yeah, that one is already dealt with. So that's part of our short-term objectives that have already been consensed on. So those are up at the top because they have already been consensed on.
But then you're saying I should add that back into this proposal.
Calling the sheriff? No,
Oh, I thought you just said that.
No, I said call the mayor and your city council representative.
Call the mayor and city council reps.
You want to read it to me?
Second. So.
Is that you, Tom?
Yeah, hold on. Here.
So I have local governments exercise their eminent domain powers.
Okay, can I interrupt you, Patty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom, can you mute? Tom, can you mute?
Oh, I'm sorry. No. Yeah.
You have to mute, Tom.
Let me get my signal straight here.
Okay. So local governments exercise their eminent.
Actually, that's what I was going to ask to interject about. So the call the mayor and your city council rep should be first as the beginning of that.
Okay, so do that. So call the mayor and city council representatives about utilizing the city's eminent domain powers, comma, local governments exercise their eminent no, that's the same thing. Eminent domain power to put unproductive resources owned by absentee landlords and landowners and corporations to work for the community and use vacant land for small agricultural work.
Sounds good. Do you want to read it one more time, or you think you got it?
Well, you tell me. Call the mayor and city council representatives about utilizing the city's eminent domain power to put unproductive resources owned by absentee landowners and corporations to work for community and use vacant land for small work. agricultural work.
Perfect.
A major run-on sentence. Okay.
Can I complicate this some more?
You may not want
Sure.
to, go ahead.
It just seems like if I'm somebody from the outside and I'm coming in and I want to get up to speed, I'm all in favor of just having one document with everything. Could we have a section in one document that has, so that people can just go look and see, oh, here's the list of our short-term goals. Here's the list of all the proposals that were passed in the last 12 months. Because I don't know what those are. I don't know where they are.
Well, you should.
When you see the formatted minutes, the way I shift things around, you can go to the minutes, and I have a whole section with just these short-term objective proposals.
Yeah, and Tom, I don't know if
So
you're talking.
the minutes.
Oh, you're talking about the minutes or the agenda?
No, I would like, kind of like, say, again, think of it from the perspective of a newcomer coming in. They're not going to read the minutes. It's not where they're going to go. They want to go somewhere to learn about the Green Party. So having a summary of everything in one location, separate from the minutes, would be nice.
So are you talking about on the website or what?
I want to keep it as simple as possible. And I would, if I say the website, nobody's going to update that. So put it in Google Docs. And as far as I'm concerned, just put it in, again, one file.
And then have a link. And where would that link be, on the agenda, or where would that link be on the?
All you have to do is, I can show you with Google Docs. You create an outline. All you have to do is make a major heading, and the heading could be something like current, 2020 proposals.
Okay,
And
but my question is, if I'm a new person, I'm not going into Google Docs.
You can. We can put a link on the website to one Google Doc that's the Bible. It has everything important in it, just a simple link.
Sure.
They click on that link and boom, they're in Google Docs, and they can.
Sounds good, yeah. Are you gonna do that, or you want to?
No, I need to get buy-in from you. I mean, it's not me to do it. You have to maintain the structure in that Google Doc.
I have to?
Well, we put a bookmark. We can put bookmarks inside the Google Doc that get reflected as actual URLs out on the website. If you need to know a little bit of what those are so you don't delete them. That's all. But they're just something that shows up in the Google Doc. So if you just...
You mean delete it from the website? I wouldn't be deleting anything from the website.
No, I'm not talking about that. There is, within a Google Doc, you can create anchor links, which anchor links are internal links. So for a major heading, you can create a link that gets reflected as a URL. So instead of just linking to a Google Doc, you can link to each individual heading if you want within a Google Doc, and then publish that link on the website.
So if we made changes to the annual goals or the short-term objectives, they would just automatically show up on the website because they're linked?
Right, exactly.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, you and I can work on that.
Okay, cool.
Patty, go ahead, Patty.
Okay, and then I just had one other question, and then I'm actually going to send you the minutes. They should be ready to go, and then you can edit them as you see fit.
Okay.
So the other thing I missed was the report on the Armistice Day. I didn't get that in here.
Okay. So Tom and I were saying that there were over 100 people that went to that Zoom, or were listed as going to it. I don't know if they actually showed up. And it probably would be good to put what Armistice Day is. So that was the celebration of the Declaration of Peace for the end of World War II, I believe, right, Tom?
No, and the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, unfortunately, it wasn't 1911, it was 1918, I believe. And it was the, end of World War One.
Oh, World War One. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that got co-opted to Veterans Day, which kind of makes it a celebration of people rather than of peace, which we don't want to not celebrate the people, but we do want to celebrate peace. So I don't know if you want to put a little explanation of what Armistice Day is in the minutes, but especially young people might have no clue what Armistice Day is.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, and then as far as I can tell, I've got the minutes finished. I'm going to send them to you. And then you and Mike can, like you always do.
Just so you know, I couldn't open that Excel document for the membership list.
Oh,
I could see it, but I couldn't open it or copy it or anything.
yes. Are you on a PC or a Mac?
PC.
And you have Microsoft, the Office suite?
Yeah, but the Excel wouldn't let me open that document for some reason. It just came up as code.
Well, I'll save it as a PDF and send it to you that way.
Okay, thanks.
All right, and that I think is all I have.
Can you, before you send it to me, can you update that, Alex Brower is a paid member?
Yeah,
Okay. I think his wife might be too, but I can't say for sure. I could have swore that she filled out one of those forms too, but
I don't have any information on her at all.
yeah, who would those forms have gone to Barbara then? Or Barb, I mean?
She usually sends what she if she gets a form, she's been texting them to me, but I'm not sure all of the forms make it to Barbara. I don't know. Barbara and I am trying to have a system going where if she deposits payments and she'll send me forms that she gets, but if somebody, I don't know, I'm rambling, but bottom line, I'm not sure I always get everything that somebody that has been turned in.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting this year because we're going to have to fill out those forms online somehow because we're not meeting in person too, and we need to do that by January 1st. So,
Well, they can be emailed to everybody on the list.
yeah, that's a good idea.
But if Tom wants to, it can figure out a way to do an online form, but that is really complicated.
No, I think the email thing is a good idea. I think that's really a simple way to do it. Good idea.
That's what I was figuring is I'll just send out a membership form to everybody on the email list 1st of December.
I got something for you guys.
Tell them if they want to vote, they need to fill out that form and either send their payment or talk to the co-chair about, the work that they've done, 1 hour of work, please.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a link to the Zoom event. Well, I haven't watched it, but I'm hoping I did. It does play. It's from David Swanson's website. So we should review it before we publish it, but it's in the chat.
Who's David Swanson?
David Swanson believes that World War II was also an unjust war and that we shouldn't have gotten involved. He's a peace activist. He's got a podcast, and his group, World Beyond War, sponsored the billboard that was downtown in 7th and Wells. for the DNC convention that never happened here.
Hmm. Okay.
But he, yeah, he's an interesting character. You know, I give him like a B+ as far as like holding my attention. And
Sometime when somebody has time to chat for a bit, I didn't understand 0.1% what Rick was talking about, his issues and why he withdrew his, he said he was withdrawing.
yeah, I could give you some background because I know a little bit about anarchists.
Is that
And
Rick Lurchie or which Rick?
I know about Asheville. My parents lived in Asheville, North Carolina. He doesn't believe in electoral politics, I guess. That's what it comes down to.
What Rick are we talking about?
Rick Lurchie. Yeah, you didn't
Oh.
find out. We should be careful because this is still being recorded. So
Well,
it's kind of
off
personal.
this call.
Off this call. Right.
I'm just saying, I didn't want to put it out there because other people probably understand what he's talking about, but I have no clue what he was. So I just like to have a chance to get a clearer understanding of what his issues.
Yeah, the anarchists, Russia, Potemkin, there's all these anarchists in the late 19th century.
Can you stop the recording, Tom?
Not
really.
I don't know. I sort of hesitate. It'll distract me sufficiently that I'll start getting. It seems cleaner for me to. Well, okay. I suppose I can simply stop the recording. Yeah, but there's 2 recordings that I'm stopping, so I will disappear for about a minute and a half.
Okay. And then when you come back, I'm going to ask you about copying the chat somehow.
Okay, yeah, just give me a minute, 2 minutes. Okay, I'm clobbering the YouTube stream. Goodbye, everybody. The Zoom will continue. It's just YouTube's dying now.